Welcome, everybody, live or at least in one take. It is the Michigan Realtors Government Affairs Update. I'm Brad Ward.
And I am Brian Westrin.
So here we are. We are in the new Government Affairs Update studio. I know the last time we came to you from the new building upstairs. It's been a while since we had a regular Government Affairs Update. So looking forward to get back to this. This is kind of the sequel. This is Government Affairs Update Maverick. Just like Tom Cruise, neither one of us has aged. So here we go. So two pieces of really important business to get out of the way. The last Government Affairs videocast that we did, we spoke about the passage of both the first-time homebuyer savings account bill as well as legislation that deals with affidavits of a fixture and in particular lost titles. And we've been waiting on both the Department of Treasury and the Secretary of State's office to issue some guidance. And the good news is that guidance in the case of first-time homebuyer savings account was released last week. And in the case of the Secretary of State's office, the next couple weeks, we should see the new form there. So, Brian, why don't you tell us a little bit about the affidavit of a fixture?
Thank you very much, Brad. So the affidavit of fixture and attendant forms that will be a part of the process of evidencing ownership. Obviously, you understand the back and forth that was going on with the Secretary of State's office and obviously Laura as it relates to what we used to do with an affidavit of fixture to prove ownership and make sure that it's marketable. This new process will be centralized within the Secretary of State. And the one thing that I can tell you based on an update from the Secretary of State this week is that those forms, when it is go live date, will not be submitted to the branch, local branch. It will instead be forwarded to Lansing by mail. We have asked the Secretary of State's office if they will be putting the form in some sort of online submittable format. At this point in time, they are not going to have it structured that way. They have some issues with receiving payment and then disseminating information in that fashion, at least for this program in particular. But the good news is their goal is to have it centralized within Lansing so that when you do send that information in and all of the attachments that are necessary to evidence ownership, they'll be in a better position to turn that around more quickly. Their concern was that if it was submitted at the local level, then it would have to be forwarded to the state in Lansing, and that was going to slow the process down. So hopefully it is efficient. Obviously, we'll be monitoring the situation to make sure that it is fluid.
And look, it was never an easy process because it always depended on which branch office you walked into, whether or not the staff was trained on how to work with an affidavit of a fixture before. And then, of course, after you got the new title, you would have to go and send the title to Laura. So now the good news is that everything's going to be consolidated into one office. So it will be a one-stop shop of getting that affidavit of a fixture and the certificate of lost title all in all at one time. But obviously, like anything else, it's going to be a new process for our folks to learn and a new process for them to train their people on. Turning attention to first-time homebuyer savings account, we've had several conversations with the Department of Treasury leading up to the implementation of this. As of now, you can go out and open one of these accounts, and still directing people to the firsthomemichigan.com site, firsthomemichigan.com. That will link you to the Treasury guidance on this. There's some guidance that has been put out in the form of a frequently asked questions. But the most important thing to know is how to go and set up one of these accounts. So the first step is opening a brand new savings, checking, money market account, brokerage account with a financial institution or a brokerage firm if you're using one of those. Identifying when you open up that account the qualified beneficiary, whether the beneficiary is yourself or a child, grandchild. All of those questions in terms of who can be a beneficiary are listed on that Department of Treasury guidance. And then the third step will be that when you go to pay your 2021 Michigan income taxes, on your MI 1040, you will then identify that account. So that's when you designate it as a first-time homebuyer savings account. So you will identify the holder of the account, the beneficiary of the account, the institution at which it's held, the account number will be listed there, and then you will also be able to take that state income tax deduction, which is really, the bang for your buck portion of the savings account, which is $5,000 for an individual, $10,000 for joint filers. The account has to be open for 1 year before you can use it. And the good news is that as this account grows over time, that interest that you're earning on those accounts is tax-free, as long as it's used for that first-time home purchase in the state of Michigan. So very excited. This is going to be an evolving document. We've talked to Treasury about that as they kind of get into the program, that they're going to be updating those FAQs as they see fit.
Yeah, and the nice thing about the FAQs as they stand currently is they're the work product of a lot of back and forth between Michigan Realtors and the department. So some of the deep in the weeds questions that we've been fielding, we do have concrete answers for, but obviously as this program gets off the ground and more people avail themselves of the opportunity, questions will arise. So make sure that you fire those off so we can get those over to Treasury for feedback. But probably the most important thing is make sure your clients understand that this is out there because, as we've mentioned in the past, this does have currently a 5-year sunset on the program. And the key to obviously making sure that this lasts beyond those 5 years is to be able to look back and say there's enough people out there that are availing themselves of this great savings opportunity.
Yep. So again, guidance on firstHomeMichigan.com for your first-time homebuyer savings account, and we will be pushing out that new Secretary of State form as it relates to certificates of lost title and affidavits of fixture once that becomes available.
On the go-live date, we will send that out, and just so you know, based on the information that Secretary of State will be training their branch offices very specifically on instructions to make sure that people are not just dropping them at the local branch. They will have some guidance on how to proceed if a person goes in with little to no information about the process.
Yep, definitely. So that's it for today's Government Affairs update. I'm Brad Ward, and
I am Brian Westrin.
And you can be my wingman anytime.
I'm so honored.